Luis Enrique hopes one day soon his daughter will stop being a statistic, one of the thousands missing in Mexico. He stops strangers on the street asking for help, follows up every possible lead. But more than a month on, Imirani is still missing from her home in Ecatepec, about an hour's drive from Mexico City.
I couldn't get in touch with her by phone or WhatsApp messages. I didn't know if she came to my house or went to my mother's, but I wasn't worried because she did that sometimes. I thought maybe her cell phone ran out of battery.
The next day there was still no contact. He'd no choice but to go to the authorities to report her missing.
I felt defenceless and I felt impotent because I had to do all the investigation. I had to bring all the information to the authorities. I even had to force them to search for her.
Imirani is one of thousands of Mexicans who disappear each year. Some have been trafficked, others have been murdered. The graves litter Mexico. When Mexico elected a new president last year, they did so largely on the promises made by Manuel Lopez Obrador that he would end the plague of violence in the country. But in the first 6 months of this year, the first 6 months of his presidency, the murder rate has hit an historic high.
We are changing the strategy to combat insecurity and violence because it was a failed strategy that only consisted in the use of force, and it didn't deliver any results. It only made things worse.
Despite his election promising a new security policy, there have been clear challenges to the rule of law in Mexico. The most blatant when the authorities were forced to release the captured son of drug lord Joaquim El Chapo Guzman when the Sinaloa cartel took control of the area he was being held in.
So what we have is a government that makes promises, announces publicly that it will make a change, but then does not implement the promises it makes. So in the meantime, we have thousands of people searching individually for their loved ones without the necessary institutional support.
Luis Enrique thinks his daughter may still be alive.
We've been searching for her in morgues, in hospitals, even in prisons. I suspect that this is probably a case of trafficking.
He says they're still hoping for her return, but hope may not be enough to save her. Alan Fisher, Al Jazeera, Mexico City.